Sunrise City, well, yes, keeping our focus on this development between Nigeria and South Africa. Well, this morning we've got Mr. Agboro, who is a legal practitioner. He is the head of legal desk of the Nigerian Union in South Africa. He's been practicing there for about 10 years. We also do have Adetola Olubajo, who is the president of the Nigerian Union in South Africa. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, Mr. Agboro, you just came in to the country last night from South Africa. What is the feeling at the moment over there?
Tense, unfortunately very tense. And it's really getting very, very, very serious. And we just want to finally put an end to this.
But this is not the first time this attack is happening. How is the atmosphere different? Or how is this one different from the previous ones?
You know, we just have to look into the genesis and to have a flashback back to 1994, 94 to 98, before 2008. You know, but this time around, it's reached a stage where it's really affecting everyone, both the professionals, the informal settlements, the small businesses, and you know, to an extent that foreign investors are beginning to pull out few of their investment from South Africa.
Foreign investors are pulling out?
Especially Nigerians. You know, the essence of most of us that are self-employed, for instance, now the practice, like a legal practitioner, most of my clientele are Nigerians. So for the fact that few of my clients are sending messages saying to me that, look, Morigi, sell our properties, we just have to pull out. South Africa is becoming very unsafe. So that's to tell you that it's massive, and it affected even the small businesses. You know, the Nigerians that are working extremely very, very hard. You know, the mechanics, the electricians. You know, it's bad. You know.
Really appreciate this. Why the severity now?
Yeah.
94 that you mentioned was when the apartheid ended.
Yeah, because I tell you, you see, we are focusing on 2008, but this started ever since 94, 95, immediately after the apartheid. It started by a group of South Africans in Alexandra Township in Johannesburg, where few South Africans went on foreigners, undocumented foreigners. Who are undocumented? How do they know that these foreigners were undocumented? Like citizen arrested them, handed them over to the police. That was this is 95. And this is the era of when Mandela was there. You understand? And what did they do? Then it was a bit peaceful. They handed them over to the South African police, you know, just to probably prosecute them. Then now, that's 94, 95. Then 1998, there was this political rally that was going on in 1998. And immediately after the rally, the few South African locals on their way back, you know, in a moving train, threw out 2 Senegalese and a Mozambican. That's 1998. Killed them, threw them from a train that was moving. Yes, 1998. And nothing happened. So you see...
Was it investigated by the police?
Yes, it was investigated. It was investigated, but...
Any prosecution?
No prosecution, no follow-up. Hence I'm taking you from you see the train, 94, 95, 98. Everyone kept quiet. You understand? Then 2000.
And nothing was said by the African Union?
Nothing then, you know. Nothing really happened, you know. Then moved to 2000, where that was when now few of our Nigerians were touched. Few Nigerians were affected. 2 or 3 Nigerians died, 2000, you understand? And this, you know, nothing was still said. Because if you look at the trend from 94, 98, that was Mandela era. Then Thabo Mbeki came in, the same xenophobic attack started in his era as well to move to Jacob Zuma to the present day. So the difference, just like you said, what the major impact here now is that, you see, we should be very careful about this word xenophobia. Xenophobia is not a crime in South Africa. We must be realistic. It's not a crime.
According to the laws.
According to the laws of South Africa. But they are all hiding under the auspices of xenophobia to commit murder, to commit hassle.
When
But
you
those
say
are crimes.
Those are crimes now. Those are crimes, you understand? Those are crimes.
Are
that
those
the
ones
sense-
dealt with when that happens?
Yeah, there've been arrests, you understand?
But no prosecution.
Successful prosecution, none.
So if I could jump in, to follow up this, you know, when you then say that it's affecting Nigerians who are working hard, the professionals there, and then if you look at the message this morning on the front page of some of the dailies where their Foreign Affairs Minister, Pando, is saying that many Nigerians there are doing drugs. So how is this going to impact on perhaps the relations or how we're even trying to sort this out if they're talking tough this way?
But look, you see, the issue of this drug thing is, I think we must still look back to the structures in South Africa, the security structure, for instance, the SAPS, or the MPA, which is the National Prosecuting Authority. There's been successful prosecution. Do you know how many Nigerians that are languishing in the prison in South Africa? Successful prosecution. I give you one recent case of 2 Nigerians, drug trafficking, human trafficking and manufacturing. Both these Nigerians, life sentences. Are you guys aware of that? So what are they talking about? Drugs, the issue of drugs.
I'm saying when they say
there's been
this
successful prosecution. Nigerians are languishing in jails,
I didn't see
been
any
convicted. So,
What's disturbing now, Mr. Agboro? Sorry, maybe I should take this to Mr. Olubajo. What is disturbing now, you know, from what he's saying, you know, that there have been successful prosecutions, is the fact that, you know, the prosecutions now doesn't seem to be, government doesn't seem to be strong enough in making a statement about stopping the attack on foreigners in that country. That's the general understanding that many people have now.
Yes, you are correct. And it's a public knowledge. If not because of the outrage of our government this time around, we wouldn't have seen some movement by the South African authorities. What he was saying is that the issue of drug trafficking and human trafficking should not come in because there are laws in place to tackle that, and there are successful prosecution of drug traffickers. So the security clusters are up to the task. But when it comes to this committing crime under xenophobia, then you maim people, you attack them, you loot their businesses, you kill them, then there have not been successful prosecution of that.
They take laws into their hands?
They take law into their hands. They take it to the streets and do whatever they like. And we have had a case of 293 or 98 people arrested. But these people that are arrested, they are just statistics. Have they been prosecuted? Have they been taken to court? Take, for example, Nigeria. When some people decided to loot and copy what South Africa is doing, which is not part of us, it was strange to our police. They used excessive force. One person was killed immediately. Condolence to the family. It's not something that we should even have. But immediately, within 24 hours, the IG gave an instruction and they mount security in every major South African businesses in Nigeria. And you see that the attack is no more there. They arrested 83 people, not on the spot, through intelligence. And those have appeared in court yesterday. And so that is a justice system that protects not only the citizen, but the foreigners. But these 290-something people, we need to probe further to know whether they have been taken to court. So what have been done to them? Have they been released? And so those are the reasons why we have been saying that lack of investigation and prosecution of cases that involve attack on foreigners, killings, and so on. For example, now, the issue of Mrs. Chuku now is dead. It's practically dead. Maybe because we are speaking about it now, There will be some media statements.
She was not a drug trafficker.
She was not a drug trafficker. She was killed, and we are told that it has been escalated to a highest level of policing, but nothing has come out of it up to now.
Do you think anything will come out of it? Because
I've said it here before.
Yeah, some of the things that's even more a little more disturbing is the political rhetoric, and the top leadership of which is all over the place in the social media. So that's probably suggesting that, look, maybe there's some kind of official affirmation that this can continue in South Africa. And that's definitely not something healthy for any foreign national there. Sure. Something a little more disturbing to a number of people who have also been following this story is the fact that the attacks are more on Africans and not on other people.
The attack is basically on Africans.
Why?
The other nationals that are not African descent, in most cases, are not being attacked because there is some level of security for them by the government. You cannot, because they own the economy. You understand now? So we have not seen a situation whereby those people will be attacked. And going back to what led to this engagement, this question now, is that this may actually continue if the momentum, I said it, that the issue of the Mrs. Chukwu, who is not a criminal, who was not a criminal, will not have any information about it after some times. The only thing is just the media statement. Now, if the momentum did not go down, I expect that the Nigeria should play a bigger role here to seriously engage. This is an opportunity. They've started on a high note, which I commended the Foreign Affairs Minister for coming out very strong, and also the President Buhari for all they have been doing now. They have been using some of these diplomatic instruments I've been speaking about. They need to use it. It's high time we need to, because the life and properties of Africans, Nigeria in our case, is not safe.
Okay, so just a button. When you talk about Nigerian government intervention, now you took us back to 1994 when this started. Yeah. And I'm also curious to know how the Nigerian government has responded from that 1994 up to this moment. You took us through, Nelson Mandela's period, Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma, now Cyril Ramaphosa. Yeah. So we can go back to Nigerian government, military government. We had the civilian government from President Olusegun Obasanjo to Yaradua to Goodluck Jonathan. And also, let's also chronicle that. How has the Nigerian government's response been from that period?
During that era, Nigerian government was sending delegates, envoys to South Africa for diplomatic row, have a discussion. But this discussion was not bringing any results, because it's been a trend. It's brought no results. It's been a trend. You see, my fear in all this is we should be very, very careful that very soon, this is, to me, my analysis today is that it's domestic terrorism. You understand? It's hate crime. And we should be extremely very, very serious. It will come to a stage in South Africa where we think most of us that are in the suburbs, in the safe areas, in the gated estates, the time will come, the security that is a South African knows every Nigerian, and the time will come, they'll keep pointing to every Nigerian, and they'll come into homes now to come and mob every one of us. So what we need to do this time around now, we don't need this diplomatic, what word would I use, just to marinate the situation. What the Nigerian government is doing now, I'm really impressed, with the hard statement. Then it was not enough, but now we need to put our foot on the ground.
If I could quickly jump in. Now, if the SA, look at that daily, where it says, South Africa dares Nigeria, says no compensation for victims. This is one of the key things that Nigeria is demanding, because a lot of Nigerians have lost.
That's why I come in legally. Yeah. You see, we must use the judicial system in South Africa, because that's the safest place to me, to be honest with you. We can get the recourse to all these damages. We can get the compensation. We need to be coordinated to go for serious reparation and compensation for all the damages and that has
How will that
cost.
go?
Yeah.
In South Africa, internationally?
In South Africa, that can happen in South Africa. You see, the government of South Africa has to take responsibility of what is happening. We must be very,
What if
very
they don't
careful.
want to?
They must. That's where we
can
have the
make
courts.
them do that.
That's yes. We can. We can put pressure on them. We need to do that.
I saw a live interview with Malema. I think it was a press conference with Malema, who said that he's not sure that the justice system of South Africa is effective enough to tackle some of their own crime. So if you are saying this now, and that's the position he holds.
Yeah, but we should be careful about political statements sometimes. I want us to be very, very careful about political statements. I belong to the legal fraternity. I have to give kudos to the legal fraternity in South Africa. You understand? I have to give kudos to the legal fraternity. Because, look, Malema said, or could be saying such statement just for his political gain here and there. But have we tested the system, the legal system, to get recourse for our citizens? The damages, we've not tested it.
Now, speaking of the damages, now we were speaking with Nigeria's Consul General. I'm sure you saw that soundbite, and we were asking how many Nigerians have been affected. Do we have a figure so far? He said that they're still compiling that list, but I understand that you have a list so far. So, how many Nigerians have been affected? How many are you projecting?
Yes, I don't think Consul General will be able to give an authoritative figure because it's still a compilation. That is a way through which we get information out. And then I think that channels have been neglected over the time. And it's very difficult for some of the information to reach Nigerians because not every Nigerian goes to the High Commission and Consulate. So now, we have seen people that have come forward. We have 13 of them that have come forward, and they've been able to, I receive another 3, which I have not tested, because when they bring such information, what we do is to make sure that it is the right information. And we are referring them to say that you need to go to the High Commission and Consulate.
Why would they not want to go to the High Commission?
Not that they don't want to go to the High Commission. You know, based on, there are different reasons, based on experience. You know, there are some that went to the High Commission that it took them a force to be able to gain entrance into the place. You did the broadcast here. They had to forcefully gain entrance into that place. But there are some that doesn't have that information. Some people, when they get to South Africa, they seek for asylum. Some of them are not documented. And so when this thing happens, they don't have information that you don't need to be documented to approach your mission because they are there because of you. And so now, what we encourage them to is that you need to contact the mission at every point in time. When we are told, we make sure we direct them to the mission and also to the legal desk because we use his practice. He's actually giving us on a pro bono to say that because there are ways you file these papers which has not been done very well in the past. So having a legal person who is helping in that regard, there are ways that you're going to file these papers, you'll be able to ask for compensation. But when the papers are not filed correctly, at the end of the day, even if you take it to court, you are going to lose the case.
Okay, gentlemen, let's take a look at the response of Nigeria to this so far, because Nigerian envoy, we understand that he's arrived in South Africa to see the president and is expected to come back here and give us a brief. First of all, the coordination between officials here of the Foreign Affairs Ministry and there, do you see them being on the same page addressing this challenge headlong?
No, I don't see them being on the same page. Because first of all, the Consul General was on TV, on national TV in South Africa, and then when the tweet of the minister he was confronted with the tweet, he actually tried to dodge it and say he's not the one that made the comment. So you see that kind of disconnect. Also, in Nigeria, there is an announcement that they have recalled the ambassador.
They're recalling.
They are recalling the ambassador. Now, they are recalling the ambassador. Then it was also said yesterday even on channels, to say that they are not aware of it. And so now, before you make such comment, I think there should have been a kind of information and coordination. And even from there, when you hear such a comment also, you need to actually check whether it's correct in your own, with your own home country. So we just want to implore them that this is not also helping, because there should be coordination of information at every point in time, so that people will not just have their hopes up, whereas nothing has been done. You know, some of these media statements, when they come out, it elites people. They believe that something is being done. But when it comes to say that, oh, we are just hearing it in the media also, nothing has been done about that. So the coordination is not there.
Legally speaking, on the question that the APC chairman raised about nationalizing some of these assets, because that's the more companies than people actually know. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, well, from Oshomale, isn't it?
Yeah.
APC chairman. Radical talk. We need such talk, really. We need such talk, but we have to be careful as well, too. You know, we just have to exhaust all the necessary avenue now, this period. Only when South Africa will stop bullying. South Africa has been bullying Nigerians for a very long time on this issue of xenophobia.
That's in South Africa.
In South Africa, they've been bullying us so much on this issue. And it's getting just so much. We have all the mechanism. We have all the apparatus.
Is that because we allowed them to?
Because we've not had enough support from the government then. But now, I could see a bit of a difference that now South Africans are beginning to sit a bit tight. It's going to be very, very serious. For instance, Zambia pulling out from the Cup of Nations. I mean, the friendly
match.
I learned this morning Madagascar is pulling out.
And the match is supposed to be today.
And the match was supposed to be today.
But are they getting the message in South Africa?
Gradually, because but they say the fact is, let's look at who are responsible. There's a game. There's someone responsible for this.
How do we draw the line? Because there are South Africans too who don't subscribe to these kind of actions.
Yeah, they don't. But what are they doing? They are not doing anything. There are different structures in South Africa. There is no structure in South Africa that has really come out to condemn this. AfriForum is there. They've been quiet about so many things. Nelson Mandela Foundation, Ellen Susan Foundations are there. I've not really seen, they've not really come out to condemn this.
What then could be the underlying reason for that?
It's political. Because I tell you, let me take you back to 2015. The king of Zululand, Zwelithini, made a statement about, listen, foreigners, we have to do away with them. They're coming in here, they're taking your jobs, they're taking all your medical benefits. What happened? Immediately, the rampage started, the killings, the looting. The same president, Cyril Ramaphosa, prior to the campaign, the ANC campaign, made, yes, probably good legal talk to say, look, we don't want undocumented foreigners within the country, you know, and that now ignites another xenophobia attack. So the fact is, we need to hold the government of South Africa responsible for all what has been happening. It's very, very political. So we need to really, the South African government have to come up and stop this. They are the only one that can come up and say, we'll start. But if we don't set a very strong precedent, this will not stop. We need to teach South African a lesson in South Africa. They must pay for all what they've caused, right from, we go back to 94, 98, 2000, 2015, and up to
And even though the Foreign Affairs Minister of South Africa says their laws don't allow that, you think we can actually make that happen?
No, how? How is it possible that the laws wouldn't allow that?
All right.
That's not possible.
Gentlemen, we will keep this going, but this is how far we can go for this segment. We've been speaking with Mr. Adetola Olubajo, who is the president, Nigerian Union in South Africa, and Omorige Agboro, who is the head of the legal desk, Nigerian Union, is also a legal practitioner. Thank you very much, and all the best, gentlemen.
Thank you.